to the Power Six Podcast. Here's your host, Isaiah Rose.
All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of the Power Six Podcast. This week will feature Max, Bradley, Connor, Headley, and myself, Isaiah. Fortunately, Devin is busy this week and will not be able to join us. An electric week week 7 of college football we just witnessed. Very crazy things happened. Let's jump right into things, Max. What's our agenda this week?
All right, so usual stuff. We are going to start with, before we get into the absolute chaos that this weekend had for us amongst the other big games, we are going to start with the usual Husker reaction. Purdue wins 43-37. This game was offense and more offense. Trey Palmer was kind of the story of this game, besides obviously the result. He had a school record for Nebraska, 237 receiving yards. He had just shy of 300 all-purpose yards. And for some reason, he wasn't named Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. I don't really understand that, but beats me. But anyway, that was really our entire offense. We couldn't do anything else, honestly.
Trey Palmer's that guy.
He's
got it. He's got that
him.
dog in him, as the kids would say.
Yeah. Without Trey Palmer in this game, we would have gotten absolutely blown out, I feel like. Without Trey Palmer, this game is a completely different story. I think we would have lost by at least 20. O-line looks terrible, and we couldn't get anything going unless it was the deep ball.
The O-line is horrible. I got a stat here. So Thompson, he has a beautiful ball, the long ball. Like, that's one of my notes. I just have to throw that out there. His longest rush was 31 yards, it said, on ESPN. He finished with -1 rushing yards. He lost 32 yards because he kept on getting sacked. I believe we were sacked about 5 times. I mean, our O-line is just horrible. Like, they're not even putting up a fight.
Yeah. Go ahead, Max.
Oh, I was just going to say, I had something else here that was regarding our O-line. I'm going to see if I can find it.
So what I was going to say is that when we were watching the Rutgers game together, Brad said any of us could go in there and do a better job. And I didn't believe it at first, but I think we could now. We could put Max in at center and he'd at least try to block somebody. You know what I mean?
Shout out Headley.
I'd get in the way of people. I can tell you that much.
I mean,
put our bodies.
That's doing more than some of our linemen do.
Yeah,
you need one play for me. I got it. I'm gonna be injured after that play, but I got that one play.
I think we should give you a shot, man.
Headley will go in there just crazy, like just cracked out of his mind. Yeah, they're not going to know what to do.
We've got a wide receiver that's got that dog in him.
He's got the dog.
We got puppies on the line.
That's the hard thing, man, is you try to judge like how Thompson does. Jake, I know you were talking about how
it's big old Jake.
Big old Jake. Sorry.
Thank you.
How people were kind of dogging on Casey Thompson for his play, but like he has no time.
Dude, I actually did want to talk about that this week. Casey, like the judgment that I see on Twitter. I mean, Twitter is not like real people. Twitter is just NPCs. Psychos. Yeah. But still, like just looking at it, if that's what I saw, and I'm a prospect for football, like Nebraska is the last place I'd want to play quarterback at, because Adrian would just get bashed on Twitter. Now Casey's getting bashed on Twitter, and I feel like they are the last reason we're losing football games.
You know what's insane about that too is the last couple of years we've had not a very good O-line. But yet we have people drafted from our O-line the last couple of years playing in the NFL. I don't understand that.
Well, Cam Jurgens was the saving grace with that offensive line last year, and he is super good. He's an athlete.
He was bad 2-3 years ago.
Last year.
Yeah,
it's
all of the blame. Even so, I get that our defense obviously didn't play that well this game, but it's really hard to play good defense when you're on the field for 43 minutes, which they were. The offense can't sustain a drive. Defense can't get a break. It's just almost impossible to get stops.
Max, you want to know how many plays Purdue ran?
It was like 100. It was over 100.
101.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
We had 52 plays. It's insanity. You can't expect a defense to do so good against 100 plays. I mean, they're running us down.
Yeah, we can't sustain any drives. Our offense right now is just have Trey Palmer run as fast as he can, and then Casey Thompson throws the ball in a second or two so that the pressure doesn't even have a chance to get to him. And so it's great when we score an 80-yard touchdown, but then the defense is right back on the field. It would really help if they could actually have a sustained drive that took like 6 minutes off the clock and drive the field. But
you know what I don't understand is Purdue had 41 total tackles and 33. Goodness gracious. Sorry. I had a video playing for some reason. 33 solo tackles. How are we not that athletic to get past one guy?
To break some tackles, yeah.
You break some tackles, man. Like 33 solo tackles out of 41 total.
Heavy-footed individuals.
Like, come on. We got some athletes out there.
Yeah, we definitely need to start just recruiting differently for the offensive line too, because we recruit Turner Corcoran, who is nearly a 5-star, and we recruit Bryce Benart, who's a 4-star as well. But they're not good. It's because these guys are like 6'8" and 290 pounds in high school. Of course, they're going to dominate in high school. You need to be in college football. You need to be more of an athlete. You need to be more of a Cam Jordan. You got to be faster.
Yeah, because you're going up against Chase Youngs.
Yeah, you're going up against guys who are fast. You're not going up against the sophomore high school guy who's 6 foot, 200 pounds. Like, of course you're going to win when you're 6'8", 290. So,
exactly. That's a good point. Great point.
Yeah, definitely need some revision there.
Yeah. Also, I know we're saying Trey Palmer is that guy, and Aiden O'Connell. He's
really
good. I think he's that guy.
Aiden
He's pretty dang good. I mean, he did throw for 54 times. AOC. Oh, now he's small man Jake.
Breeze.
I mean, I kind of said that.
Why did you change my name?
What do you mean? You changed your name.
No. We're halting the podcast to talk about this name change. What's this? No, you can't do that.
I think it's valid.
Change it back. You got to change it back.
AOC threw for 54 times.
You restarted the podcast because I made a comment about your below average genitalia, and you changed my name.
Oh no!
Hey, come on.
Hey, it's changed, man.
Gosh dang. All right, Aiden O'Connell threw for 391, 4 TDs, 1 interception, but he did throw 54 times. He's still that man. Devin Mockabee, the running back, ran for 178 yards. 178 yards. The most he had before was 112 versus Minnesota at half. I think he was at like 120 or something like that.
That was frustrating.
That was so frustrating. And then Chandler Jones was chopping up our secondary, 132 yards for 2 TDs. Insane. Our defense was a little rough. But
that was not a fun game to watch. I mean, it was fun because you got to see Trey Palmer just do his thing. But for most of the game, we were just watching them just pick up 8-9 yards a play, and it just hurt.
We also had 0 sacks.
Yeah,
zero. What's
no pressure? Just no pressure on.
D-line needs to pick it up too. We keep talking about the O-line. D-line needs to start getting some more pressure.
D-line's got to do something.
One thing back to Devin Mockabee getting all that yardage. The one thing that I said before this game is that at least make sure that you stop the run. Purdue's game is Aiden O'Connell. It's Charlie Jones. If Aiden O'Connell beats you, he beats you. He's going to beat most teams that he plays this year. Do not let whoever their no-name running back is, who hasn't done anything against anyone else, do not let him beat you, and he beat us. So,
got to make him one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go, he was getting like 10-yard carries easily. We just couldn't get any penetration. Their offensive line was pushing our defensive line like no other.
I will say it did not help that Luke Reimer was out. I think he really would have helped with the run game. So
and then I think Nick Hendricks got out too.
Game-changing play a game. Like he does every game. Yeah. He has one play that just really changes the whole momentum of the game.
He is probably our best defensive player, I would say, on that side of the ball. He's
100%.
Yeah.
I think Nick Hendricks got out too early, and then number 5 came in for him, I believe, and he just was not good.
Yeah.
I did not think he was very good. But yeah. I mean, on to Illinois.
Yeah. Bye week comes at a good time, I think. Hopefully some guys can get healthy. before we move on from this game as well, Trey Palmer is now #1 in the nation in receiving yards. So that's actually really cool to see.
He's that guy.
And he is the #1 ranked wide receiver in college football, according to PFF College. So he's, I don't know. We're looking at maybe a potential first-round draft pick here.
Big old Jake, can I get a big old bark? Huh?
Yeah, I bark when I feel like it, Brad.
There's a
and with that,
hey,
oh yeah, go ahead.
there's a stat that my uncle actually brought up to me about this weekend. In 51 there's 51 FBS games this weekend. Over 40% of those had 70 points or more in the entire game, which I thought was very interesting because like you weren't seeing all these high scores, and then as soon as teams get into conference play, it's like the defense is just gone away. And I know Nebraska game there was 90 points, 80 points total.
80 points.
Yeah, just shy 80. It's like 78.
It's just crazy, like where the defense has gotten so much worse later in the season. You think teams will be better?
Hey, not in the Big Ten. There's still defense.
Oh,
That's better.
that's true.
With that, though, we'll get into our reaction to this weekend's biggest games, biggest results, and there were a lot of them. This was a super hyped weekend coming into this Saturday, and I think it lived up to the hype. I said this too when we were watching the games, but the real winner of this weekend was us as college football fans, because that was some fun to watch. But with that, let's get into Michigan and Penn State. The Wolverines win 41-17, big noon kickoff. It was close for a while, but Michigan ended up pulling away. I was surprised, I guess, that the final score was this big, but not surprised that Michigan won and covered too. I thought they were the better team.
Yeah, Michigan's legit. It's unfortunate that Michigan, Ohio State, or that game's going to determine who goes to the playoffs for the Big Ten. But once it's expanded, it will be nice. Both those teams can go.
I'm not surprised Michigan won this game. They are very dominant. It does suck that both of those teams can't make it, but SEC can always have two teams every year. But it would be cool to see them both make it to the playoffs. I think they are both playoff candidates at this point. The SEC bias will allow both of them to make it.
This Penn State Michigan game, I actually had Penn State as my underdog, and I thought that they were gonna keep it close, and they did until half. They actually were leading about 3 minutes into the second half, and then Michigan just turned it on. Their O-line took over the game. It was a Big Ten beatdown. They just ran it right down Penn State's throat. I'm scared. I'm very scared to play Michigan.
Blake Corum is a very good running back, but I still hate the guy.
I am not scared to play Michigan.
That kind of went off too.
Yeah, I think they both went over 100 yards. I'm pretty sure.
Big runs left and right.
Their O-line is going to do so much damage to our D-line. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be bad.
I don't think
it's an L. Just chalk it up as an L. Like, that's why I'm not even worried against Michigan. Like, we're going to lose that game. Bad.
Michigan doesn't need to pass the ball.
We're going to be there, and we're gonna have to watch them rack up 600 rush yards.
I'm excited to see the big house.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool for about the first 15 minutes, and then when we're down by 50, it's gonna be just.
Dude, if I were you guys, I would just cancel the trip if you haven't bought anything yet.
Oh, we bought everything.
No, we're going.
I want to go see the big house.
I do want to see the big house.
We're seeing the big house.
Hey, I'd like to see the big house when Nebraska's good.
We thought.
Well, Isaiah, we might be dead by then. So
that is true. That is very true.
Michigan rushing attack was definitely the story of this game. Both the running backs, so Donovan Edwards had 173 yards. Blake Corum had 166. As a team, the Wolverines had 418 yards on the ground. Absolutely gashed Penn State. And this game really, obviously the score makes it look like a blowout, but it definitely was. I know it was close for a while, but Michigan had 28 first downs. Penn State only had 10 first downs the entire game. Sean Clifford was 4 of 12 passing. I don't know. Really bad. Really bad. Or excuse me.
4 of 12?
Sorry, not 4 of 12, 7 of 19. I was looking at something else, but 7 of 19. I had Sean Clifford's pass stats in my notes, but still
Clifford
not good.
Is not good.
Yeah, it's not very good. Those are some Petrus numbers.
Them is. But they actually have a good O-line, so.
Yeah, Michigan has
No
a great
excuse.
O-line.
No excuse.
Michigan's a classic Big Ten team. They'll run it a lot. Great lines, defense and offense. So they should be a force to be reckoned with this year in the Big Ten. Next, though, finally, we'll get to it here. The Tennessee-Alabama game of the weekend. Potentially the game of the college football season. The Vols beat Bama 52-49. What an unbelievable game. Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver for Tennessee, had 207 yards, receiving 5 touchdowns. And this was also the most points scored on Alabama since 1907. That's insane. What a win for Tennessee.
This was a crazy game. They showed a stat that when Alabama had 16 penalties, that tied the most in school history. I don't know what they ended up with. I know they broke the record because they got to 17. But this looks like the most undisciplined Saban team that he's ever had. 17 penalties is crazy. And
yeah, Alabama, Isaiah, has the most penalties in all of FBS this year. They have 66 penalties. That leads the nation.
I think Alabama's going to lose again this year.
I would not be surprised.
I actually think the opposite. I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama just turned it around and we had 3 SEC teams in the playoffs.
Oh, it sucks so
I don't know
bad.
about that.
That would suck.
That's
But
a stretch.
also, that guy that had 5 touchdowns has the same amount of touchdowns as Iowa's receiving room this year.
Oh,
Or
no.
no, I think it's like this year and last year.
Oh, no.
Well, it is tight end you have to remember that.
Yeah. It's more.
But I don't
touchdowns
think
than Iowa
Alabama's
has
going to lose
passing,
the rest of the year.
because they have won this year.
Alabama is due for another loss. I haven't looked up their schedule, but I think they're going to lose again.
They're due for another loss, but I haven't seen
they
anyone else
don't
play.
really
They
have
just
that.
they don't look that good, man.
They're
I mean,
beatable.
They're still
Granted-
Alabama.
they still
They're
are
beatable.
Alabama. Granted, they only lost by 3, and that field goal was lucky to go in. But they don't look
said
like
this to
a
you guys-
typical Alabama.
They've been one play away from losing in other games too.
Yeah, 2 other games. They're 1 play away from losing against Texas and against Texas A&M. They could be 4-3 right now.
Yeah,
Couple
you
plays away.
could say
Obviously,
they're
good
1 play
teams.
away from beating Tennessee.
No, I know.
It's
I was just going to say the point that good teams find ways to win, and that was Alabama in those games. But the fact is, they've had a shaky season for Nick Saban's Alabama teams. I mean, it usually isn't like this.
No, it is not.
Yeah.
I was,
I
I
don't think
was,
they're going to lose.
I was
Field
watching-
goals in the river.
I know. I was
That's
watching
awesome.
this game
I-
with Andrew's family, and me and her dad just like after the first quarter, we were like, they're gonna win. So Alabama hadn't given up a touchdown in the first quarter for 13 games straight. They gave up 3 in the first quarter to Tennessee. Like they were dominating. So thank God. Also, Will Compton, the Lord of the Huskers, he says we're going to Vols Nation for the year. So
Oh,
let's go Vols, baby.
dang.
Go Vols, I
Let's
guess.
go Vols.
This,
I would be really surprised if we got a game this year that is better than that game.
I would
I
be shocked.
really would.
Yeah.
I don't
I'd
think
be
that
so
is
shocked.
gonna
I don't know
happen.
if it's gonna
I'd be
happen.
shocked if we got one in the next 2-3 years. Like that was just insane.
Yeah, they don't script them like they do in the NFL.
Yeah, the
That's,
NFL is scripted. Let's make that clear.
That environment at Neyland Stadium too, I can't even imagine being in. That was an unbelievable atmosphere. We obviously we know tickets were going for 400 plus. Lower bowl was thousands of dollars for tickets. So
I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
I've been to one field rush game where I got to rush the field, but I can't imagine it being against Alabama that you won. That would
Well,
just,
especially that big rivalry, and you haven't won in 15 years. Like,
yeah.
I'm not surprised that they tore the field goal post down.
oh no,
I loved
Not
it.
at all.
that was a given.
I loved it.
I would have done it too.
With that crowd though too. So 8 of Alabama's 17 penalties were pre-snap penalties, like false starts and delay games. 8. I have to think that was likely influenced by the crowd. which just goes to show you how loud it was. Normally a team has 8 penalties in a game, let alone pre-snap penalties. That game, not surprisingly, did set the decibel record all time at Neyland Stadium, 124 decibels. And apparently, too, I saw this on Twitter, for the game-winning field goal, it set off like the seismic meter or whatever for the National Weather Service and recorded like a minor, like tiny earthquake in Tennessee.
Wow.
That's sick.
It like lined up exactly with the time of the game-winning field goal. So that was pretty insane.
That is pretty insane there.
Yeah. That's happened to LSU before too. I can't remember what game, but that was a few years ago.
Hey, Nebraska's on track for that though, because we just got to be bad for like 5 more years. So that'll be like 20 years being bad in a row, and then we do something like that, and then maybe all of our fans will be dead by then, but it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah, I don't think anybody sat down for that game.
Oh, that was.
Stadium. I swear, I wouldn't have. Like, I would have been wearing my most comfortable shoes, getting ready to stand the whole game. Like, no way.
Absolutely.
No way.
Another.
I mean, how often do you sit in a Nebraska game?
I try not to.
I sit for most of the Nebraska games, honestly.
I mean, if I could, I would want to stand for most of it.
I stand, man. I stand during Nebraska games.
I might bring a pillow into a Nebraska game.
Max stands the whole game, no matter if he's home or at the game.
That is true.
I mean, I cheer for our team. I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
He likes to cheer while standing.
I'm part of the team. You think the team's laying
down?
down?
Red
it
too.
is pretty hard.
You think they're gonna win if Max is
defense?
No.
To stand up for Nebraska's defense is like it's a lot of effort because you got to get up and start yelling on third down, and then you like see 40 for third downs in one game where they're just gonna pick it up. It's tough.
Yeah, I'm more of a sit down, and then when something big happens, pop up and let's go.
I'm a pop up guy.
Pop up guy.
I'm a jump up guy when I'm already standing.
Yeah, that is true. We should record ourselves watching a Nebraska game.
Okay.
That's already a thing. The Husker Hype Radio, shout out.
Last thing too regarding this game was just how big it was for college football. The game averaged right around 12 million viewers, and it peaked at 17 million. That's pretty huge. To put that in perspective, the Commanders-Bears Thursday night game averaged around 8 million viewers, and the Yankees-Guardians playoff series has averaged around 6 million viewers. So Tennessee, Alabama's got NFL and MLB beat, so that's pretty sweet.
I'm surprised the Bears-Commanders game even had that many viewers.
I thought you were going to say under.
Those are not real numbers. Those are not real numbers.
I thought you were going to say under 1 million. For sure.
Oh, dude, you guys, NFL is king. The biggest NFL game every week gets over 30 million.
But
Sunday Night Football averages 30 million a year. That's why the NFL TV deal is like $1 billion a freaking week or something. Like
you're telling me 30 million people watch Sunday Night Football a night?
Yes.
I would not be surprised. Because
NFL
internationally,
NFL is
Everyone's
TV
been
king.
waiting all night waiting all day. For Sunday
But
night.
It's just theatrics though. They realize it's like WWE. It's fake, right?
And NFL football averages like every game throughout the entire season averages over 10 million viewers.
That's remarkable.
Damn.
That's
the Commanders-Bears game on Thursday night.
Yeah, well, that was 8 million. But yeah, it's when you get a single digit million like NFL game, that's pretty rare. Usually it's definitely TV king. I mean, so is football. That's why college football, like I just read, is so big. It's just football in general in the US. But anyway, we can get to TCU and Oklahoma State. Headley, man, Mike Gundy, what happened? They had a 24-7 lead over TCU.
Yeah, man. It was just a battle. It was a battle. That Duggan, what's his name?
Max Duggan.
Dude, he from Council Bluffs is legit, man. He's good. He fights too. But that TCU team is so hot right now. I would not want to play him.
I agree. I should have bit my tongue for this game. I said when they were up 24-7, I was like, absolute lock of the week.
You said that after like the first touchdown, dude.
Yeah, because it was very dominant touchdown. Like I was the absolute lock. Great. Hey, it still hit. Okay.
You're lucky there was no extra point in overtime.
I was very lucky that they don't kick the extra point in overtime. So they still cover by half a point. It was sad to see, I know Headley's been big on the Cowboys. I predicted them to be in the playoffs earlier in the season and to win the Big 12. So I didn't like seeing them lose, but TCU looks like a very hot team right now. Max Duggan, he does fight. He's got some grit, and the dude's good. He's valid.
Yes, he is. He's wolf, he like barks and stuff. But Oklahoma State, I think there's no chance for the playoff team anymore. I don't think they can get to the playoffs, even with one loss. I think Big 12 championship is still on the table.
I agree. I think Big 12 championship's on the table. The playoff is right now are kind of a toss-up because there are still, I think there's 9 undefeated teams left. Which, if you have a loss and there's still undefeated teams, it's going to be hard to make a case for yourself to make it.
Be the Horned Frog in the playoff, man. We're going the distance. I'm the only one that picked them right this week.
You are. That is true.
Just because I went with Vegas.
It's never a bad strategy.
And it didn't work for a lot of the other games this week.
No, Vegas had a bad week.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. Unusually. I will say I'm concerned about the Oklahoma State defense. Kind of have been all year, and this game really showed that. They were doing really good early on, but then in the second half, TCU just could kind of do anything they want.
Just carved them up.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Yeah. It also sucks too, and we'll get to this in our preview with Oklahoma State. They have another big game this week, but Spencer Sanders was injured and is questionable for this week. So that sucks for the Cowboys. But he might be good to go. I don't know. I last I saw, he's just day-to-day. So
yeah, that doesn't look good for the Cowboys there.
Yeah. Is that everything for this game?
What's his injury?
I don't know.
Because he looked fine walking off the field. So
yeah. I don't know. Headley, can you make something up for this? We say false things loudly. What was his injury?
Sorry, what?
What was Spencer Sanders' injury? You know it.
I have no clue.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Compound fracture to the femur.
Oh God.
Oh.
Yeah, day to day. All right, next, Oklahoma beats Kansas 52-42. I guess this really wasn't all that surprising. I didn't think either team looked all that great. It really sucks that Kansas doesn't have Jalen Daniels anymore because Jason Bean was 16 of 27, 4 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions, which really hurts. It just sucks for the Jayhawks, but I think Brad and Headley, I know you were leading the way on this. Kansas
5-7.
Yeah.
5-7 in the book still. I still think it's going to happen. Baylor, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Texas, and K-State. I don't see them winning another game.
They're back to 4 people showing up to their games. Like, it's done. It's over.
Yeah,
basketball's been an underdog every single game.
Yeah, the AP poll came out for basketball. They do not care about football anymore. It's over. Like
yeah,
that's a great. Go ahead.
I can see now that Kansas could go 5-7. Without Jalen Daniels, they are not. I think Jalen Daniels would have made a big difference in this Oklahoma game. Granted, Oklahoma looked really good. They could do anything they wanted. But Kansas, they still fought with a backup quarterback. I think having your starter, there might be a different outcome there. But, it's college football. Anything can happen. I was very surprised to see 94 points in this game. That was crazy. You would think Oklahoma would have put up that many points, because they've always been decent. They're having an off year. But even Kansas, I don't think they've scored that many points this season with Jalen Daniels. And if they did,
their offense has been
couple
strong,
games.
Their strong suit this year. Actually.
Yeah, their offense has been putting up a ton of points.
56, 55, 48.
Yeah, I don't really know what you're talking about.
But with the backup quarterback.
Good fake stat. I like that. That's what Power 6 is about. It's fake.
Except for Iowa State.
With the backup quarterback, you wouldn't think.
You said even with Jalen Daniels. You literally said even with Jalen Daniels. I don't think
cut that part out.
I specifically mentioned when we started this preview that not having Jalen Daniels is very bad.
Oh, Like Max said in the preview, it proves its point.
Exactly.
I think
Move on.
Oklahoma dominated. I mean, it is what it is. And also 94 points, Big 12 score.
Big 12.
Big 12 points, man.
Big 12 score. Oklahoma's
You'll
back
see
to being.
you'll see my locks.
Oh, interesting.
Big 12
Headley,
over, perhaps?
Headley, I know you mentioned the basketball AP poll coming out. That is a nice little segue into this week's trivia question. Which team has the highest average ranking between college football and college basketball now that the AP poll is out?
How long do
Kentucky.
we get?
Illinois.
No. Illinois is a
Kentucky.
good guess. No. Kentucky,
Or
no.
What was the question again? Can you reset it?
The highest ranking
Arkansas.
between both the college basketball and college football team.
Is Arkansas?
No, it is not.
It's got to be Arkansas, man.
Is
No,
it
Check again, man.
Baylor?
Arkansas's not ranked in football right now, Headley.
Yeah, it's
is it
gotta be
Baylor?
No, it's
gotta
not
be-
Baylor.
What?
Wow.
Is it,
Baylor's
What-
also
okay,
not
what
ranked in
conference?
college football
is it
right now.
Alabama?
No, also a good guess though, because Alabama is ranked in both.
What conference?
Are you
SEC.
talking about the preseason ranking right
SEC.
now?
Is it
Yeah,
Tennessee?
yeah, the college basketball preseason
Oh, I
ranking
thought you were
right now.
talking about in
Tennessee?
the past year. Like
It
who
is
was
Tennessee.
Wow, dude.
What?
What is
Tennessee
there?
is-
Putting together some good teams in every sport, man.
Tennessee is
They
currently
are.
third in college football, and the preseason college basketball poll this year they're 11th. So
Headley, after this year, can we hate Tennessee again?
yeah, for
I've
sure.
always hated Tennessee, man. I don't
No.
like their baseball team
balls-
this year. I
I was
couldn't
gonna say,
stand that.
Tennessee baseball too, man. What the heck?
Balls Nation.
Tennessee baseball is just, oh my god. And also, Tennessee Twitter is apparently like one of the scariest forces on the earth.
Yeah.
So,
Also, guys, what is the second highest college basketball team right now without a football program?
Creighton.
Gonzaga's,
Villanova. Villanova.
it's got to be.
Gonzaga's
Gonzaga.
first.
Villanova.
They don't have a football program. No, it's Creighton, guys. Creighton comes in at
Oh.
number
It's
9.
Creighton, I
Yeah,
should have
I
said.
said earlier.
Creighton
on.
comes in at number 9 without
Boo-
a
boo
football
this
program.
man.
Hey, really though,
This
are you guys
man.
are you guys cheering for Creighton this year? Or do you want them to fail? Because
I want
them to
Creighton.
fail.
I want Creighton to do
I-
amazing.
My hierarchy is always UNO, Lincoln, and then Creighton.
Yeah.
I don't want either of those teams to do bad, so I will.
Creighton's
root
my
for
favorite
Creighton.
Nebraska team, so I'll take the Jays.
Wait, you're not a Mav fan?
I basically
no,
live
dude.
on Creighton
What the
campus.
fuck, man?
How do you cheer for a team that's never gonna
I
do
still
anything?
see. I'm still enrolled at UNO.
Your
so
alma
I
mater,
have
man.
to. Once I
We're just like-
graduate, they go down to 3.
We're just a fake D1 team. We don't stand a chance to win a natty.
Okay,
It's
guys, we need to
hockey.
keep things
It's
on pace here.
hockey.
Otherwise, we're gonna go forever here. So let's get to our next game before we get too out of control here. Texas beats Iowa State 24-21. Devin, I'm sorry you're not here to defend yourself. The 16.5 points did not hit, unfortunately. This was a close game. Big worries for Texas, kind of, because Iowa State, I mean, they have a great defense, but their offense put up 21 points, and they had that deep bomb at the end of the game that was dropped. They should have won this game. Texas seems really inconsistent right now. They seem very up and down.
All I want to
concerned.
say, Devin, when you listen to this, terrible lock of the week. man. Terrible. I knew from the point you said it was going to be bad because Iowa State has a good defense. And then, like Max said, that guy dropped. He was 10 yards away from a defender.
That was
and
tough.
he just dropped the ball. Like Iowa State
Texas-
should have won this game.
They got lucky there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Devin. Awful lock. It reflects in the 2-5 lock
Hey, man,
record.
2 and
You know
5's
who
not
else
that
has a
bad.
2-5 record? You know
2
who
and
else
5's not
has a
that bad.
2-5 record? Bradley.
The guy in control
Hey,
of the
hey,
locks.
we'll talk about my underdogs later, y'all.
Yeah.
Underdogs. That's
Underdog is nobody cares about
Hey,
underdog.
Max-
Nobody
Max,
cares
Connor,
about
Headley, and I decided that underdogs do not matter. It's
underdogs
the
makes the
locks.
money, dude. They're
it.
always the
It is
plus
the least
favorites.
valuable statistic for us.
Yeah.
Well,
They make the
locks
money.
make the money.
Well, not when you bet less on the underdog.
Right, you need to make your underdog your lock, because
I
if
know
you
I
made your
do.
underdog spread your lock, it'd be 4-3.
I know I do. I want to shout out Devin real quick. I did tell you to change Texas. Did
Yeah.
tell him to. Whatever.
Segue though into great locks. Illinois beats Minnesota 26-14. The Illini were plus 6.5 on this game. They got the reverse cover. They win by 12. Tanner Morgan injured. He was not playing good before the injury. He was 4 of 12 for 21 yards and 1 interception. After this game, Illinois' defense has officially moved into number 1 in the country. Like I said, defense-wise. And it showed this game. Like I said, Tanner Morgan didn't have a great game. Illinois played really good. Big win for the Illini. They're now leading the West with Purdue.
Illinois is a scary team right now. And I know we have a bye week this week, and then we play Illinois. I'm scared for what the spread's going to be because our offensive line is terrible. Our defense is bad. Illinois has, I don't know, it's got to be top 3 still running backs. And, they just are a very good team right now. And it's very scary. They have the 1 loss against Indiana. If they don't have that loss against Indiana, I think they're a top 10 team right now.
Oh, absolutely.
They are very good. And I could see them. I think I have in my notes here. I have Illinois as my current Big Ten West, who I think is going to win. I think they will beat Purdue because they probably play at some point.
I think they'll beat Ohio State or Michigan. I'm kidding.
I wouldn't go that far.
They could.
I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm less worried about Illinois than I am Purdue. Aiden O'Connell is so good.
Yeah.
Illinois is an explosive team, so you're always in the game at least a little bit.
Well, Illinois' game plan seems to be extremely apparent at this point. Chase Brown this game, 41 carries for 180 yards. They absolutely worked Chase Brown. And that's Brett Bielema's style, though. Remember back to his days at Wisconsin, all the great running backs he had. Obviously, Monte Ball. I don't know, the other guys that put up 800 yards on us. But that's his game, and it works really well in the Big Ten. Tommy DeVito, Illinois quarterback, went 25 of 32, 252 yards, 1 touchdown. Also a great stat line. Illinois is rolling. They look really good. Never thought I'd say this, too, but I can't wait for it's in a couple weeks, the Purdue-Illinois game. Never thought I'd say that. But that's going to be one heck of a Big Ten West showdown.
That's definitely going to be my game of the week when that matchup comes up.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
100%.
Next, Syracuse beats the Wolfpack 24-9. I don't really have much to say here. Great lock. Brad Rose here, though, with the under. That was hitting all the way. Syracuse got a late touchdown in this game. Otherwise, it was 17-9 really late. So good win for the Qs, though. Undefeated. Top 15.
Yeah,
Wow.
Thanks, Uncle Brad. I put some money on that and it hit. So thank you for the free money.
All I gotta say is I don't know how NC State's so ranked after this week.
Yeah.
I think Purdue should be there and NC State should drop out.
I completely agree, Brad. I think Purdue's getting screwed. They're definitely a ranked team.
I think so too.
Yeah, what do they have? 90s. They have like 96 votes, and they're
95.
they're out behind Tulane.
Yeah.
State has 2 losses, and this one's not great. 24-9.
No.
Syracuse.
Yeah, I agree. I think NC State should be unranked after that game. Is Syracuse undefeated?
Yeah, Syracuse 6-0. They're 14th.
Yeah. So I kind of get the validity of why NC State is still in. I don't think they should. I think Purdue should have, taken that 25th spot and kick NC State out. Granted, they lost to 2 ranked teams, but still.
Yeah. Next, Arkansas BYU. This was an interesting midseason matchup. Razorbacks win 52-35, very high scoring, which I didn't really expect. BYU came into the season preseason ranked, and now they're not looking too great. I think were they 4-3 or 3-4 or something. But don't really have much to say about this. But good for Arkansas to get back on track. I think it's a pretty good win.
I think both of these teams are preseason ranked.
Yep.
I picked the Razorbacks, my piggies at Lindy. But yeah, I think both teams. Before I said, I think which team is more fraudulent right now, just based off coming in preseason ranked, and now they're both out of the rankings, playing each other. BYU's fraud. In Arkansas, they're still a decent SEC team. Granted, they've had some tough losses, but they're still a good team.
I would agree with that. Michigan State gets back on track here. They beat Wisconsin 34-28, double overtime. I know when we were watching this game we had it on the iPad. going on because we had the main screen was obviously Alabama, Tennessee, secondary screen Oklahoma State, TCU, and then this game as well. What a slate right there. But I don't know. This one, I didn't really get to watch much of any of this game, but I'm a little surprised at the result just because Michigan State's looked really bad. But I guess the one thing that has been keeping Michigan State holding them back has been their pass defense, and we know that Graham Mertz isn't going to exploit that. So I suppose makes sense.
When we bought our season tickets, our third game was Wisconsin. I was really worried about that game when we bought these tickets. And now it's looking really good. I think Wisconsin is in absolute shambles. Granted, they don't have a head coach. Neither do we. I don't think Wisconsin's very good. You know, we've been trash talking Michigan State this whole year with Mel Tucker and how they signed him for this big deal. I think he kind of saved himself in this game. I don't think he would get fired necessarily this year, but if he had a couple more bad years, he would, his job would be in jeopardy. But I think
no way he gets fired this year.
No, he's not getting fired this year.
I don't think
he
would.
Insane.
No,
I know he won't.
I think it would be, 2 or 3 more bad years like he's had this year before he gets fired.
They're definitely starting to get a little unhappy and impatient with Mel Tucker this season, but he definitely is going to have at least next year to try to get things back on track again. Obviously,
I definitely
gigantic contract.
I definitely agree. I think
he has more like
ridiculous for
more lenience than that. That's just so much money.
Yeah, it's in a ridiculous amount of money.
Isn't his buyout right now like 90 million?
Yeah, he signed an extension for 95 million, so it's probably somewhere around there.
Okay, yeah. I think the guy's gonna have 2 or 3 more years regardless. I feel like,
Yeah, at least.
Boosters have so much money, but they're not gonna want to pay. Boosters definitely help in that case.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that one pans out over the next couple of years, but
all I have to say about this game is the Spartans won because we all picked Wisconsin. So should have put money on Michigan State.
That's true.
Paid the Power 6.
That's true. That's probably why Texas almost lost too. They escaped the curse of the Power 6 just barely. Next, Clemson beats Florida State. Good win for the Tigers, 34-28. Also don't have much to say about this one. I wasn't really able to watch much of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much to say other than my lock of the week hit. And I'm
great lock, Heather.
Thank you.
But I bet Clemson will drop one, or if they don't, they'll get blown up in the playoffs. But I didn't get to watch.
Yeah.
They just have close games.
All I have to say is that Clemson is definitely going to win the ACC this year, but they shouldn't be a playoff team.
Yeah,
I think they are going to be a playoff team, and we're going to have to watch a semifinal of them just getting destroyed.
Yeah, that's going to suck.
ACC is just bad this year.
That's why we really have to hope that Syracuse beats them this week, I guess.
I feel like the college playoff pickers, they just give Clemson too much validity because they won the playoffs, or they won a game. And there's too much validity there for them not to do it, even if they shouldn't.
Yeah. We can get more into discussion too after all these previews. We'll talk about the playoff race a little bit as well. Things seem to open up a little bit this weekend. So next, Kentucky beats Mississippi State 27-17. This result actually really surprised me. I thought if Kentucky were to win this game, they definitely weren't going to hold Will Rogers and that Mississippi State offense to only 17 points. Yeah, just surprising. I thought Mississippi State's offense was really coming along under Mike Leach, obviously. So, but Kentucky running back Chris Rodriguez had just shy of 200 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. So, like I said, he was injured early on in the year, is back now the last couple games, and really seems to be making a difference for the Wildcats. Next, Utah beats USC 43-42. I know we were able to watch this game a bit late night. Well, kind of getting into late night, and what a game this was. Great atmosphere in Utah as usual. They have an underrated stadium, underrated fans in my opinion. High scoring game, and it kind of sucks because the Pac-12, besides UCLA and Oregon now, is kind of just beating themselves, taking themselves out of the playoff race. Good win for Utah though. Back on track.
Yeah, very good win for Utah here, but I had Utah winning Pac-12 at the beginning of the year. But right now, I really have no clue. I mean, you have Utah, USC, UCLA, Oregon, all in the top 15. It's just a huge question mark.
Walk of the week hit for me. Finally, I'm back on track.
Good stuff, Connor. Good stuff. That was what was that? +4 for you for USC?
Plus
3.5?
4, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It looked pretty good the whole game, and then I kind of stopped watching because I went to Topgolf, came back, and Utah ended up winning, and I was kind of like, oh god, wow, it got close, but
yeah,
still covered, so it's all that matters.
Some other notable points too this weekend. Stanford, who has their last 11 FBS games, they're 0-11. No longer. They upset Notre Dame 16-14. That is a tough look for Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. Just when we thought after their win against BYU, they were kind of getting back on track, but not the case now. LSU beats Florida 45-35. Colorado, who was previously 0-5, finally gets a win 20-13 over Cal. And Ole Miss stays undefeated too. So good for the Rebs. Now, quick discussion too. And I want to bring this up after Tennessee gets their big win. And we're seeing teams like Clemson's maybe struggle a little bit. Is the playoff race wide open, or do we think it's just going to be Ohio State, Georgia, Bama, Clemson kind of thing once again? Or do we think like Tennessee, TCU, UCLA, Oregon? I mean, can they make a run at it?
I think TCU can make a run at it, and Tennessee. I think Tennessee beating Alabama was huge for them. I think right now, I'm just going to say my top 4. I have Georgia, Tennessee, not in any order. Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State, and TCU. I think those are my 4 teams right now for the playoffs.
I think it basically just comes down to TCU and UCLA. They basically control their own destiny. Same with Ole Miss. I mean, if they can just win out, they'll probably get themselves a spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's completely wide open to all, I don't know, top 15 teams. Because, I mean, Bama lost. Anyone can sneak in there, really. But I got a prediction here, changing it from our preseason, because my preseason is completely wrong. I believe Utah's gone. But I'll put it in order. So I think it's going to be Tennessee, Michigan, Georgia, and Clemson. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Tennessee looks pretty good. Georgia will not get like a dominant win one week and then drop a spot. Michigan looks pretty good, and then Clemson will just sneak in there at 4.
No Ohio State.
Michigan will beat Ohio State.
My only
at
worry,
Ohio State.
Beat Illinois too.
You think Michigan's going to beat Ohio State at Ohio State?
Yep.
Wow.
I think so.
I think
back-to-back years.
The only problem I see with that is that
nothing, you got to beat Illinois.
Tennessee and Georgia are in the same division in the SEC, and they play each other in 2 weeks.
The
winner of that game,
that's not going to happen then.
The winner of that game will likely go to the SEC championship, leaving either one of those teams to not win their division. You know what I mean? Which makes it
so pissed if Alabama sneaks in.
That is the biggest concern.
Gosh.
Yeah, you can. What's very likely actually is that we could have 3 one-loss teams from the SEC, and then what do you do there? Because then you're going to have Ohio State and Michigan that are both really good teams, and one of them's not going to be able to represent that side of the division in the Big Ten championship, so they're pretty much automatically going to get taken out. I don't know. It's tough. There's going to be some SEC bias this year, but at this time of year,
Alabama's going to lose another game.
But I feel like it'll work itself out, and I don't think Alabama's going to lose another game.
I think Alabama's going to lose another game.
They might lose 2
Just
more.
count them out. What sucks is that, how I said, the Pac-12 has 4 teams inside the top 15, and I don't think they have a chance to make it anymore. They're just going to beat each other out at this point, because a couple of them still have to face each other. And the Pac-12 championship game, there could be 2 teams that are 10-1, 11-1 when they get to that game. They're just going to beat each other out. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, the thing is, I think if UCLA, Oregon, or USC, 2 of those have 1 loss, UCLA is undefeated. If any of those 3 teams win out and then win the Pac-12 championship, it'd be very hard to keep them out, especially Oregon's 1 loss being to Georgia and USC's 1 loss being to Utah. The other thing with the SEC too, so it's really kind of split. You have Georgia and Tennessee in the SEC East, and then you have Alabama and Ole Miss in the SEC West. It's going to be a combination of those 4 teams, or those 2v2 are going to play in the SEC championship. I think best case scenario would be that Ole Miss beats Alabama, so they have 2 losses, and that kind of ends their chances. I think the Big 12 is going to be on the outside looking in. Oklahoma State, I think, is in trouble. Defense is not good. I know Tennessee's defense isn't that good either, but their offense is insanely good. TCU, I don't know that they can stay undefeated, so it's going to be tough for them. And then obviously Big 10, it's Michigan, Ohio State, ACC, Clemson, or maybe a Cinderella run by Syracuse or Wake Forest. I don't know, 5-1, but probably Clemson.
I think that this year we're going to look at the most evenly matched 4 teams that we've ever had.
I agree.
The top 4. I think it's going to be the semifinal this year might be watchable for more than 2 quarters. It's possible.
I completely agree.
Yeah, this is definitely a really interesting playoff race. More interesting than it's been in a while. And especially because we've seen Georgia has looked beatable against Mizzou and even Kent State. Alabama just got beat. So definitely seems more open this year than it has been, which is good to see. It'd be crazy to see a team like Tennessee get in there too, maybe an Ole Miss, TCU. So that'd be fun.
I do want to make my take known to the public that Alabama, I wouldn't be surprised if they win the SEC. This happens every year or so where Alabama will lose and people think Nick Saban's in Alabama are not that good, but it's still Nick Saban in Alabama. So they're good.
How many of those years have they been this undisciplined?
It's still Nick Saban in Alabama. I have no doubt in my mind they're going to come back and be in the SEC championship.
What do they have? 66 penalties, Max?
Yeah, 66 leads the country.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Normally that's Nebraska, man.
One thing I will say about Alabama, I agree, Headley, that it is Alabama and Nick Saban, and I don't have a single worry for them. But they have looked different this year. They've looked more beatable than usual. And I think a big reason that is the assistant coaching turnover at Alabama, I think, is finally starting to catch up to them. Anytime a big name gets fired, who's still a big profile coach, goes there to be an assistant, and then they get hired on, they have a new OC or DC every year or 2. I mean, Bill O'Brien is the OC right now. He's going to get hired and leave. They had Sark. He's now the head coach at Texas. Kirby Smart was the DC for a while. He's the head coach at Georgia. Mel Tucker was on Alabama's staff at some point. I mean, all these guys, and they just get hired after a year or 2. And I think it's finally starting to catch up to Bama. You can't handle that much turnover after so many years.
That's a good point.
But anyway, yeah, with that, let's get into our tank of the week. So I can start us off. It was kind of tough this week. There were a lot of good performances. I'm going to go Cal losing to Colorado, though, because Colorado sucked. They were 0-5, and they beat Cal 20-13. I think that's pretty embarrassing because I thought Colorado was going to go 0-12. So
my tank of the week here is Notre Dame against Stanford. They are favored by 17 points to win this game, and they lost 16-14. I think Notre Dame is an absolute fraudulent team. They're not good. They haven't been good all year. They haven't really proved themselves from the get-go. So
my take of the week is Bama's kicking. Nick Saban just does not know how to recruit a kicker.
Good tank. I couldn't really find a good tank this week. I searched, I couldn't find one, so I'm going to go back to last week, actually. And I'm just going to keep on piling on New York Mets. They're the tank of the week. They're the tank of this week, too. Wow, what an awful, awful team.
Goodness gracious.
My tank of the week is updated. It's now Headley's tank of the week is my tank of the week.
Dude, there was a lot of hard-fought football this week. Nothing too embarrassing. I liked it. Had a great time.
Nobody tanked too hard.
That's true.
Except for
Except for
this week. No, except for Cal losing to Colorado.
Yeah,
because that's my tank of the week as well.
Yeah,
that's a terrible loss.
It is.
It's a terrible loss, but at least it's not. Here's another tank of the week. Denver Broncos primetime 4 times at this
Hey
already.
man, hey man.
That's a tank right
Hey,
there.
the Bears.
That's a
The
tank of
Bears
4
play
weeks.
next Monday. All right, Bears play next Monday.
Dude, the Bears haven't been disappointing, or the Bears been disappointing for like 10 years. Dude.
Yes, they've been terrible. So has the Broncos. Broncos have been disappointing.
Hey, but really though, it can't get more of a tank than the Mets not making it out of the wild card.
It's the Mets, big.
The wild card series now. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I'd hate to have been someone like betting on the Mets to win the World Series too. Like
Somebody
that
that
would
bet on the Mets
be
at the
really
All-Star
dumb
break
and
when they were
stupid.
10 games. They were 10 games ahead of any other team.
yeah, that would have.
Yeah, I remember that.
Big
Yeah, I
dumb
remember that.
stupid.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man. All right, guys.
Who
let's
was
get
that,
into
man?
let's get into some previews here. Week 8. We were hyping up last week for how good it was, and it was amazing, and it lived up to it. This week's pretty good too. 5 ranked matchups once again. I think this is the 3rd week in a row with at least 5 ranked matchups. Pretty crazy. We'll start things off with a 14 Syracuse at number 5 Clemson. The Tigers are favored by 13.5. This is a battle of a couple of orange and purplish blue teams. And we were just talking about the playoff race. This could be a really big game for the ACC playoff race. If Syracuse wins this game, I mean they really put themselves in realistic contention to win the ACC. Isaiah just laughs at.
I started laughing because Isaiah started laughing. Then I saw Max smiling.
I look up and I was like, okay, you have to be a 5-year-old to laugh at like a
I've
mispronunciation
done
that I
that.
corrected right away.
I had to spit my beer out there, man. That was funny. But no, I think Max is right. This could be a big game for both of these teams for the playoff race, because I think Clemson is still going to be the favorite to win the ACC. But if Syracuse wins this game, there might not be a team in the ACC that goes to the playoffs. Like, granted,
Except for Syracuse, undefeated.
no,
Syracuse, man.
I don't think Syracuse is
They
going to
have
get the
two
validity. They're not going to get the validity. They're not going to get the validity.
If they go
that
undefeated and win the
deserve.
ACC, they're in.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think that will happen. I think that
Okay,
Clemson
fair.
will come back.
Fair.
I don't think that'll happen. Even if Clemson, is the ACC have like an East, or yeah, they have the Atlantic and the Coastal.
Yeah.
Are Syracuse and Clemson on the same side?
It's a good question. I actually don't know.
Because if Syracuse and Clemson are on the same side and Syracuse beats them and they say they only get 1 loss, I think Syracuse still goes to the ACC championship over Clemson in that. Depending on who Syracuse loses to.
Clemson and Syracuse are in the same division. Yeah.
So this could be really big for Clemson's season right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
What do you
is,
guys-
no matter what?
Without a doubt in my mind, I do think Clemson's going to win this game. But, I can always be proven wrong. It's college football. Anything can happen.
Well, real quick, what do you guys think about the spread here? 13.5. Does that seem a little big? Maybe Syracuse isn't getting the respect that they should be getting. They were a dog last week against NC State.
Feels a little big.
Syracuse
Yeah.
is
Feels-
undefeated, but I
feels
think that their
big.
strength of schedule, I don't know the exact strength of schedule ranking, but it's in the hundreds. Like they haven't played really anybody yet. NC
That's
State
true.
is their hardest matchup.
That's
They did
true.
play Purdue and win.
Yep.
Purdue sucks, man.
Hey, he's got a point. They only lost to us, by the way.
They played
Six.
Wagner.
I forgot that they did play Purdue.
No,
That was
but
a solid win, though.
I think the spread is what it is right now. Like you guys said, the strength of schedule. But Syracuse, they're just not going to get any validity from Vegas. They when was the last time they were undefeated after 6 games? Probably a while.
I think it was the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to get any validity here until they prove themselves. They win this game, they're proving themselves a ton.
Yeah.
Because
They'd be a top
Clemson-
10 team if they won this game.
Oh, 100%. They would be a top 10 team. I would be very surprised if they weren't. So
But with that-
Clemson has more to prove here than Clemson, I'll say. So,
Wait, what?
Syracuse has
What?
more to prove here than Clemson.
Clemson has more to prove than Clemson.
I didn't say
Um,
that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Next, anyway, from one huge conference matchup to another huge conference matchup. This is the biggest Pac-12 game that I can remember in a long time. 5+ years, probably top 10 matchup, number 9 UCLA, number 10 Oregon. This is in Autzen Stadium. This is where College Game Day is going as well. Huge game for the Pac-12. we were just talking about again, playoff race. Winner of this game, front seat for the Pac-12 to making the playoffs, making the conference championship game. So looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this is a tough game for sure. I know Oregon, what we got here in the notes, that Oregon's favored by 6, but this is such a toss-up. If you are betting, I would stay far away from this game because anything can literally happen.
Yeah. Interesting side note about this game too. Chip Kelly, head coach at UCLA, going back to Oregon. Obviously, he was a former coach there for a while with Mariota. Went to a national championship in 2010. So neat little storyline. Next, another big conference matchup here. 20 Texas at number 11 Oklahoma State. This line really surprised me when it came out. Texas -6. You can get it at probably 6.5 too, some places. I think it has to do with Spencer Sanders being questionable, but still, Texas they've looked like potentially the most inconsistent team in all of college football this year.
Yeah, I was very surprised by this line. Like you said, it could be fueled by the fact that Spencer Sanders could not be playing. Texas is not as great as I thought they would be. They only lost Alabama by 1 point, and I thought, holy shit, Texas might actually be pretty good. They haven't really proven much to me, and the fact that they're favored is just extremely surprising.
Headley, do you have anything to say about Mike Gundy?
Mike Gundy, no, man. I don't got anything to say about Mike Gundy.
That's fair. This game's on the pig, so we'll get your opinion then.
Yeah, I do want to talk about Texas, though. I have no clue what to think about Texas.
I agree.
Last week they're like, they could be the best team in the nation with Quinn Ewers. And they just play close to Iowa State. I don't want to take anything away from Iowa State because Iowa State has a way of, just battling with every team they play. So I'm glad they actually got a win.
Yeah, looking forward to that game big time. Also at Oklahoma State too. So that'll be neat. Next, Mississippi State, Alabama. I only put this on here because it's technically a ranked matchup, but I don't know. Alabama -21. I don't think
Saban is pissed.
Yeah. Yep. We know about Saban after a loss. We know.
He is going to murder Mississippi State.
Yeah, especially with how Mississippi State looked this last week against Kentucky. Not good. Not good. Next, how about this Big Ten matchup? Minnesota at Penn State. The Nittany Lions are favored by 4.5. This is the whiteout game, night game, in Happy Valley. Going to be great atmosphere as usual. Big game for both these teams. Penn State loses this one, man, they're on a big downward trend. If Minnesota loses this one, they're really sinking. But if they can win this, they're starting to really come back. I don't know what Tanner Morgan's status is, but that'll, I think, be obviously a huge factor.
I watched the video of Tanner Morgan getting injured last week, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody get carted off a field for getting punched with a fist in the helmet. I don't understand why. Like, maybe he got punched that hard. I don't know. But I honestly think Penn State should be favored by more because Minnesota, they haven't really done a lot since they've been ranked, and I don't know how many they've lost in a row. I think it's only 2 losses. But my uncle brought up a good point. Penn State doesn't have a very good run defense, and Minnesota has a very good running back. So he could carve up Penn State in this game, but I still think Penn State will come out, ahead on 4.5 there.
That's true. I like that point. I think Ibrahim could save the day for the Golden Gophers.
For that bald guy.
Yeah, for the couple bald guys. The bald guy that's injured, and another guy with the headset on. Number 17, K-State at TCU, 8th ranked TCU. Horned Frogs, 3.5-point favorites at home. We got K-State had a bye week this last week, I believe. Adrian Martinez, really interested to see Adrian Martinez versus Max Duggan here. I think that's kind of a unique matchup. 2 totally different styles. Adrian runs the ball all day long. Max Duggan, great arm. Not that Adrian can't sling it too, but he moves his feet,
Max, I'm very tempted right now to change my lock of the week. I won't, because I do think that TCU should be a little upset about this. Max Duggan is on a roll right now. And Martinez just isn't that great of a quarterback. Granted, he's got a good running back behind him.
Stop.
No,
That's false, man.
It's just so wrong. It's just so
coaching problem.
Oh my God.
There's a coaching problem.
Dude,
He's playing good.
He hasn't
Yeah.
thrown an
Hey,
interception this year.
Dad, did you know that, Isaiah? He's the only starting
hasn't thrown an
quarterback in
interception.
FBS this year without an interception.
Okay.
Isaiah goes, what? I didn't study. I'm just saying things, man.
I mean, you're not wrong, but that's pretty insane that he hasn't thrown an interception, because by this point he probably would have thrown 10 with Nebraska. So you know what? It could be a coaching problem. It is a coaching problem that we have here, but I don't know. Max Duggan just looks very, very good right now. He is on a roll.
Very true. Very true. Really, like I said, really excited to see that matchup. I think a couple of very unique and good quarterbacks facing off there in a big Big 12 matchup. Moving on to, I know we can talk about this one a little bit, Connor. I know you might have some things to say about your Iowa Hawkeyes for this big matchup. They're playing Ohio State in Columbus. The Buckeyes are 29-point favorites, huge spread. This is the largest Iowa underdog. This is the largest that Iowa's been an underdog by since 2000, when they traveled to Lincoln, and they were 41.5-point underdogs to Nebraska in 2000. So, but I mean, that's when Nebraska was, competing for natties and stuff. But 29 points, that's big.
Yeah. What do you think there, Connor?
There's not much to say here. What's the upside? No. I'm not very excited for this game. It's just going to be another shitty game to watch. Iowa's depth chart didn't change at all since the bye week. Brian Ferentz wasn't fired, so sad face.
What
do you expect? You're playing Ohio State.
Yeah.
You're having one of your worst years in a while.
What I have here in my
Iowa's
notes,
going to lose big.
Connor, what I have here in my notes is Iowa is going to get bent over and fucked in this game.
Oh God.
I think Ohio State's going to cover 29. I don't think Iowa's going to score in this game, honestly. I think their offense is so bad, God, I cannot figure out the teams this week. Ohio State is just so good. I just don't think Iowa's going to score.
I bet they'll score, but maybe like 10 points at the max.
Yeah.
They give them a field goal.
You always got to remember that the defense can get them a chance to score or put them in a position where all I have to do is run 5 yards.
Yeah, we obviously know how bad the Iowa offense is. Ohio State is top 5 in the country in both total offense and total defense. Iowa's number 7 in total defense. Very good, very respectable. But they are dead last, 131st in total offense. That's an issue, unfortunately.
I think CJ Stroud is just going to carve up Iowa.
He very well could. Did you guys want to talk about any of these other notable matchups? I know Purdue, Wisconsin is kind of
getting the locks here, man.
Okay, we can do that. Well, Let's do game of the week real quick. I'll go super quick. I'm going to say UCLA, Oregon, just for the fact it's the biggest Pac-12 game that I can remember in a long time. Going to be rocking in Oregon.
I agree, Max. That's also my game of the week here.
Mine's going to be Oklahoma State, Texas. Who knows what Texas shows up. And, I got my Oklahoma State Cowboys winning the Big 12 still. That's still the goal.
For me, it's Syracuse Clemson, because we're going to see something awesome when Syracuse goes and wins.
Oklahoma State and Texas is my game of the week. I feel like this is going to be a good one. And we'll see if Texas is actually semi-legit or not. We'll see.
And with that, we can get into our locks, our underdogs, our predictions, and we also need to introduce our special guest here. And he's a very special guest indeed, friend of the Power Six crew. So we got Redmond Reed.
What's going on, fellas?
Oh,
Oh,
This
yeah,
guy
yeah,
has-
yeah.
this guy's got a
Look
camera
at this
unlike big old
guy.
Jake, man.
The
Well, I-
professional gambler himself.
Yeah, I hopped on and then I saw everyone else's camera on, so I'm fucking scrambling around trying to fucking find a camera or whatnot. So it's good to be on. I'm probably not the first or second option for this, but fuck it, I'll give my uneducated predictions here. So
Yeah.
That's what we
Hey,
are,
give me-
uneducated. We don't know it.
Hey, Redmond, I
How
think
Pat
you
many
should.
of us
McAfee
play-
vibes.
Hey,
If
Redmond, I
you
think you
added
should
up
hop on
all of
that treadmill, man.
our combined, like, have you guys ever played an official snap of football before?
Yes.
Yes, 7th grade.
Organized
was like-
football?
oh yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, when I was real young.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
you see
What
me
is
on
our
the O
highest
line.
football
You'll see me on the low line.
Hey man, Redmond plays rugby. That
Yeah,
is
dude.
way tougher
Close.
than
I mean,
football.
He's got more football knowledge than all of us.
I don't know, dude. The Jets are pretty good fucking this this season. So hell
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, Redmond. We really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. So got
Absolutely.
some picks for y'all. So we'll see.
Redmond, do you have
Awesome.
a game of the week by chance? I don't know if you were. If you had
Not
something.
not game of the week. I got a lock of the week and I got an upset. And I
Okay.
got my picks. So that's all I got. So
All right, that works.
Perfect. Do we got the order here, maybe?
Yeah, Brad's got it.
Okay, sweet. So we will start with the locks. And I guess I can get us going this week. Actually, Brad, do we want to do a record update first on everything? Okay, we can do a record update first on locks, underdogs, and picks.
Yeah, let me pull her up right here. So last week we did really bad.
Tough.
We did really bad. It was a tough week. So I'm gonna go through the list here. So Max went 7-9. Isaiah went 8-8, which out of the power 6, he did the best. Headley had a tough week, 6-10.
Wait,
Brad
really?
Rose you went 6-10 last week.
6-10?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I could have messed up. I'll look back at it.
I'm gonna
I'll
go look
back
at
it.
that.
Look at that.
I would never go 6-10.
So our guest picker, Brad Rose, he went 9-7 with his score predictor. He did pretty good. His score predictor is pretty good for a chaotic week. Connor, myself, and Devin all went 7-9. Tough week all around. I will say for our locks, the last week, all of us hit our locks, and I'll shout out mine. Everybody shouted out theirs. Nebraska +14, just saying, absolute lock. Devin was the only one who missed his. But for the season, we are sitting for the picks. Max is 61-34, absolutely running away with whatever competition we have. Isaiah 54-41. Headley is 56-39. Connor is 51-44. Bradley is 53-42. Devin is actually under 50% at 47-48.
Wow.
Devin, we're gonna have to pick her up there, bud. Locks here. Max is 5-2, very, very good. Isaiah is 4-3. Headley is 4-3. Connor is 3-4, and then me and Devin 2-5. We don't know what locks are. All right. Underdogs. This is where I thrive, y'all. Max is 2, so it goes win, loss, cover. Max is 2-4-1. Isaiah is 1-4-2. Headley is 1-4-2. Connor is 2-2-3. I am 3 wins, 3 losses, and 1 cover. Feeling good about that one. Devin is 1-4-2.
Brad, like we discussed earlier, underdog is the least cared about stat that we have on the power.
Underdogs are the most impressive.
No.
They're
No.
underdogs.
You know a dog, you know football.
Hey, wait till you hear my underdog this week. That's going to be very
Oh,
impressive.
you just wait until my underdog.
Yeah, you just
Put money
wait.
on my underdog.
Hey, guys, I'm beating Vegas. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that is the updates. And Brad Rose actually hit his lock and underdog at NC State under 44.5, like Max said. And then Kentucky +7. So
Great stuff, Brad.
And they won. So good job, Brad Rose.
Guy knows
right.
his football, man.
Yeah, he
knows
does.
football. His score predictor is pretty dang good there, boy.
He went above 500 and picks and hit his lock underdog. Very good week. Let's get right into locks though. So, oh man, I still haven't fully decided on which one to go with. I have two that I can't decide. I'm going to go with Wake Forest minus 20.5 on Boston College. Boston College is really bad and Wake Forest can score points in a hurry. So I'm going to go with the Demon Deacons minus 20.5.
What was your other one? Say it.
The other one that I couldn't decide was Cal Washington over 56.5 points. Washington is averaging 42 points on the year. And yeah, every game so far that Washington has played would have hit that numbers over. So I think that's actually a really strong bet too, if you want to place that.
So I have 2 locks of the week as well. Kind of just decided the second one while we're here. I don't have to say that one, but I'm going to go with Penn State 4.5 over Minnesota. And this is all due to the fact if Tanner Morgan plays this game. If Tanner Morgan plays this game, it'll be a lot closer. But granted, Tanner Morgan had a terrible week last weekend. He was like 4 for 12 with 21 yards. Absolutely terrible. I think Penn State's still a good team, and they played a very dominant Michigan team. So I think Penn State 4.5 is pretty easy here.
My lock of the week. I actually had to double check the scorebook because I think that this is I think that they typoed this. Wisconsin is a favorite to Purdue right now. That's remarkable.
You
Is
said
that like
Purdue was bad
surprising to you
earlier.
guys? I mean, they're bad, but Wisconsin's badder. So I'm taking Purdue +2 as my lock.
Okay, I guess I'll come out swinging. I'll take the Aggies against the Albino in South Carolina, -3. A&M is 8-0 all time against South Carolina. And since I just spoke into existence, they'll be 8-1. So I will lose my lock, and that's how this will go. So I will take Texas A&M though, -3.
All right, for my lock, I got the Qs plus 13.5. It's too big. Qs they're legit this year. They might even win.
I like that.
It's gonna be a close game.
I do like that, Connor. Lock and don't go bet money on it because I'm 2-5. TCU and Kansas State over 50.5. I'm pretty confident in it. But once I start getting better records, go bet my lock.
Hey, I want to say my second lock, since nobody picked it. I think my second lock here is TCU 3.5 over K-State. I think TCU is dominant right now. That would be my second lock of the week.
Is my lock of the week subject to change throughout the week if I wanted to between Wake -20.5 or Cal Washington over 56.5?
Negative.
No.
Okay.
One right now.
Give me Wake -20.5. Wake
that's
-20.5.
big. That's big. Sean McVay style right there. I feel like.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Sean McVay.
With Wake?
With Wake Forest.
Oh,
20.5. Hey, you're the one with 5 and 2. So
Boston College is not much has changed from last year, and last year Wake beat Boston College like 49-10. So Boston College is a bad team this year.
Lock.
I'm liking it, sort of.
What changed is Boston College's mentality. They want to beat Wake now.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking dogs at Boston College. Okay? I don't understand, dude. I'll take that's my second lock of the week. I'll take the 20 plus 20.5, dude. Give me Boston College. Max is going 5-3.
Boston College money line.
You do fuck plus 500 right there. I already know that.
BC money line lock. Next, let's do our underdogs. A touchdown or greater. This spread is shifted. I have it -6 on our sheets, but you can get it at plus 6.5 most sportsbooks now. So I'm going to take UCLA plus 6.5 on Oregon.
So you guys are definitely going to laugh about this one. I have UNLV 24-point underdogs to Notre Dame. This is also our spread pick of the week.
This
I
man's
had
this man's going for the cover.
Dude, that is
Dude,
ridiculous, Isaiah.
That is so
Notre
soft.
That
Dame-
is so.
Notre
They
Dame
lost
is
to
such
Air
a
Force
fraudulent team.
42-7 last week.
Dude, I don't care. I think
One, I got
Notre Dame is a fraudulent team.
UNLV is not covering. That's not happening. And how soft is that? You're going for the cover there. It doesn't even help your percentage.
What do you mean?
Hurts your
I
percentage.
think UNLV.
UNLV is not winning the football game.
Yeah, take the
They're
money line,
going
Isaiah.
to lose.
Yeah,
Take
I want
the
to see
money
you
line.
bet the money line.
That's why I said it's an underdog. Underdog doesn't mean you have to bet on it, you know?
Goodness. Bad underdog. All right, Headley, move on.
My underdog of the week is I'm actually pretty confident in this one. I'm taking Duke +9 at Miami.
I like that a lot.
I was teetering on if that was gonna be my lock of the week or not, and I chose against it. So
Okay, you know what? I don't know about this, but I'm taking Memphis +7 against Tulane.
Wow, that is the same
ranked Tulane?
the same one I had, Redmond. Memphis +7.
Dude, get me as a regular on this fucking podcast.
I was ready for
Gosh,
Gosh, I was ready for Boston College 20 +20 and a half.
money line, actually. Correction.
Hey, it wouldn't surprise me if Redmond, man.
All right, so my underdog, I had a little bit of a hard time because Max's Sportsbook only had 6. I went Bowling Green Falcons versus Central Michigan Chippewas. A little bit of Maction, baby, +6.5. Bowling
Love it.
Green.
Is that like a JV team or what?
Practically.
Okay.
That's where Urban Meyer actually started his head coaching career. So
Legend.
Hey,
Interesting.
Brad loves these games, man.
Hey man, that's why I'm 3-3-1.
I like it.
Not here.
I like it.
Not here.
All right, let's get into the straight up picks here. Saturday slate, Kansas at Baylor. Pretty simple here. Taking Baylor. Kansas Magic is done.
I agree. I'm taking Baylor here. Dave Aranda's got his team pretty whipped up, and Kansas is struggling without Jalen Daniels.
Yeah, I've got Baylor. Kansas won't win another game until the basketball season starts.
Okay, I got Kansas over here, so I will start 0-1. It seems.
I got Baylor as well.
Redmond, if Devin didn't pick Kansas, you would have gotten that one right because I went Baylor this one.
And Devin sucks at this, right? Did I hear this right?
Devin is not doing too hot.
Oh, sick. All
He's
right.
below
all right.
500 straight up.
He's-
You know we're
Okay.
picking these straight up, right, Redmond? Just straight up.
Wait, straight up?
Not against the spread.
just money line.
Give me,
Just money line.
give me Baylor. Give me Baylor. Give me Baylor.
Don't that make it even crazier? Devin's below 50% in the picks too.
And these are straight
It's
up.
just money line.
Picking these money line. Okay, anyway. Next, Ole Miss at LSU. I thought this line was crazy. I know it's in Death Valley,
That
but
is crazy.
1.5. I'm gonna take Ole Miss to win. Lane Kiffin.
There's the only team that's going to win this game is Ole Miss.
Dude,
How?
we're getting tricked.
How?
So
We are. This is another trick
we're
game.
getting
Vegas.
tricked.
I don't get it.
Okay,
This is so confusing, dude.
you know what? I get it. I'm taking LSU. I'm not gonna fall for this
He
trap.
just
you
just
idiot.
changed his pick right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a clown. Give me the
As-
fucking
as I
Rebels, dude.
struck-
Yeah, give me the Rebels also. Now that Headley picked that, I'm confident.
Oh, dude.
You
Walk
fade
away.
Headley, and then you fade the power 6. That's how it works.
Headley's second though. Headley's second. I'm going Ole Miss.
I'm just
Yeah.
glad somebody picked.
I don't care if
Awesome.
Headley's second.
Yeah, yeah,
beat them
true.
after this week.
Oh my gosh.
Next,
dude.
a good Big Ten West matchup, Purdue and Wisconsin. I am going to, for the second game in a row, go against Vegas and take the Boilermakers.
Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue's my lock.
I'm taking the 15-year-old running back in Wisconsin, or however old he is, dude. Fuck that guy.
He's actually 14 this year.
Yeah, he goes down in age. Actually, they say, hey, this guy just turned 10 years old. He's fucking 6'3", 250 at running back.
Is this Benjamin Button?
Yeah, I'm with Redmond for the second week in a row. Give me the badge.
The badge.
The badge.
I'm glad
The
you guys
badge.
went Wisconsin. I'm going Purdue. I almost would have picked Wisconsin if everybody else went Purdue.
Next, Syracuse and Clemson, huge ACC matchup. Like we said earlier, I am going to take Clemson. I think they're a little too good. For whatever it's worth, I don't think they cover.
I agree, Max. I don't think they'll cover, but Clemson just looks really good. Like I've said all year, they're going to win the ACC championship.
You know what they say? Nothing rhymes with orange. I'm gonna go Clemson. Oh wait, they're orange too. Shit, fuck.
Yeah, I'm with everyone. I don't think Clemson covers, but Clemson for the win.
Yep, lock of the week, Syracuse cover, but Clemson does just squeak out the W.
Yeah, going Clemson.
Shout out to Devin for picking Syracuse here.
Shout out Devin.
You did? Good.
Yes, thank goodness.
Boy.
Next, UNLV and Notre Dame. This is our spread pick, so we are going up against Vegas. In this case, the Fighting Irish are 24-point favorites, and I don't think that they cover. They have not won a game this year by more than 12 points against some bad teams, and I think it continues.
This could
UNLV
be
covers.
this could be another Marshall incident for Notre Dame, and UNLV wins the game, so they're not covering here.
I got Notre Dame to cover.
Give me Vegas.
What?
UNLV. Give me Las Vegas.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought you were saying like Vegas, like
I thought
that was
too.
good.
I thought,
Give me
yeah,
Vegas
yeah,
straight
no.
up. Vegas straight up.
Right.
Fuck the spread.
okay. I got Notre Dame here.
Yeah, I got Notre Dame covering. I think
UNLV
UNLV is they're bad. They're bad. Isaiah, bad underdog. Just wanted to
Brad.
throw that one out again.
Brad, you're going against your Rebels, man.
I got to.
Next, UCLA and Oregon. I have UCLA as my underdog. Gonna hedge my bets again. I'm gonna take Oregon straight up.
I did what Connor typically does here. Side with Vegas, so I'm going with Oregon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Oregon too, but I'm not confident in it.
I hate Jared Schwery, so I'm gonna go with UCLA. And yeah, fuck the Ducks. We'll go with
Dude,
them.
he don't care. His Eagles are undefeated.
Oh god, dude, he probably won't stop talking about it too.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
But fucking Eagles, dude. Fly Eagles fly. Fuck off.
I'm quacking this week. Give me them Ducks.
Quack.
Quack, quack.
Give me UCLA. I feel like they look like a good team.
Next, Texas and Oklahoma State. I was surprised the spread was this big, but I really worry about Oklahoma State's defense a lot. Quinn Ewers is going to have a good game. I'm going to take Texas.
I think that's bad. I think Oklahoma State is still just going to win this game.
Lock.
Yeah, I want Oklahoma State to win, but Texas had a bad game last week, so that means they're gonna have a good game this week. That's kind of how Texas has been working. So yeah, I got Texas.
I got Oklahoma State. Horns down. Fuck them. We'll go with OK State.
And this is one of those surprise lines you get from Vegas, and that's why I'm picking Texas. Because you know they know.
They
They know people are going to be betting on OK State. They're going to
They
win some
know.
money off this.
I'm going Oklahoma State. That's a 4-3 split right there.
I want to note here, this has got to be the first time Headley's picked against his Cowboys.
It is the first
Bro,
time. I
do you
picked
even
against
do you even like Oklahoma State anymore, Headley? What is this?
Headley, I don't think you like him anymore, man.
I like my reputation as a journalist more. So
Well, Headley, you know what sucks? I'm going to pass you for second place this week in picks. So
dude, yeah, because I had to sacrifice for Power 6 and take LSU.
You
That's-
guys do
that's
have
ridiculous.
different
Point
picks.
spread. Yeah. All right. Next, Mississippi State, Alabama. Nothing to say here. Alabama.
Dude, Nick Saban's pissed. He's getting his team into shape. Alabama's winning this game easily.
Bama.
Yeah, if you don't think those defensive backs have stopped running suicide since the game, yeah, you're shitting me, dude. Give me Bama.
Yep. It always has been. It's Alabama.
Roll Tide.
It's inevitable. Fucking Thanos.
I would like to note we all picked Alabama here, even Devin.
That one I'm pretty.
I-
that one I'm
you know
pretty
what?
confident in.
I hope
That's
the curse
alright.
works in this case again.
The curse hasn't happened all year though, especially on some of the big spread games.
You never know. Minnesota, Penn State, whiteout game in Happy Valley. Penn State's favored by 4.5. Not confident about this one at all, but I will take Penn State.
My lock of the week was Penn State 4.5. I'm still picking Penn State here. But
Better.
if Tanner Muga plays, there's a chance that Minnesota wins.
Tanamuga. Yeah, I got Penn State as well. You said it's a whiteout.
This is the Penn State whiteout game.
Yeah, Penn State for sure.
Give me the Gopher. I think the running game is just gonna punish Penn State.
Yeah, give me Penn State here.
Penn State by 1 million for a whiteout game.
Jesus, dude, that's gotta be racist, man.
Hey, I actually did just look it
It's
up.
got a little bit of race to it.
Penn State's first full stadium whiteout was against Notre Dame in 2007. Since then, they have a 7-6 record in their whiteout games. So you never know. It's pretty much even.
Redmond,
only
this
thing-
could work out really good for you, man.
Yeah,
The only thing
know.
I say to that, and Tennessee has a similar record, like with their checkerboard game, like it's like 500, but they do those things for the biggest games and the toughest teams. So
That's true.
with that considered,
That's true.
7-6 is pretty
I'm
good.
surprised they didn't do it for
7-6 is good.
Alabama. That was a side note.
Next, K-State, TCU, top 20 matchup. Horned Frogs favored by 3.5. About as least confident in this as I suppose I could be, just because I think I would expect the line to maybe be a touch bigger. So Vegas knows something. I'll still take TCU though.
Max Duggan.
Oh, dude. TCU's so hot right now. I'd hate to play them, but if there's anyone that's going to beat them, it's Adrian Martinez. I got Kansas State.
Give me the Frogs, dude.
Yeah, I'm with the Froggies too.
This was my lock of the week. I'm going TCU 55-40.
Jesus, dude.
95
What the
points.
fuck?
95
What's the over on that one? Over under
55.5.
55 now. Okay.
You're
That's
saying one
definitely
team. You're saying one team is just going to drop 55.
Yes.
Vegas
it's
knows
not-
something. Brad knows something, dude. 55
They don't-
points.
they don't
dropped by
know.
the
They don't
Frogs.
know. TCU 55.
Dude, Vegas obviously is not listening to the Power Six podcast.
Brad
They don't know
Vegas.
anything.
No, they have no idea. They're so screwed.
Yeah.
Next, we got Iowa at number 2 Ohio State, 29-point spread. We'll get a score prediction for this one as well for our friend here, Connor Stout. I'm going to take Ohio State, and I think they'll win the game 42-5.
Ohio State, no doubt, 49-0.
Oof.
Yeah, I got Ohio State. Is this not a spread pick?
No.
It should be.
I got Ohio State winning 7-2.
So they cover. See, I think Iowa covers too, but I think Ohio State wins 30-3. So I'll take that.
Good cover for the Hawkeyes.
Great cover, great cover.
I'm gonna go with the hot. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go with the Buckeyes. I have it written down. 38-10. Iowa covers by 1 point.
28 points. It's got to be the Buckeyes all in all. Ohio State's going to win 45-10. And that touchdown for Iowa is going to be garbage time when all the backups go in.
I like that. I think Petrus can.
No,
No, they probably have Padilla in at that point.
I hope
Okay.
so.
You probably had a
But
really
what's the
good week
upside?
of practice.
You know what's
so.
great? Iowa might not be in a game toward the end of the part of the game, so we might actually get to see Padilla. That'd be
Well,
nice.
Actually,
But what's
heard,
the upside? True.
Well, what's the upside?
yeah.
I actually heard Spencer Petras had a 15 QBR against the bye week this last week.
Hey, dude.
What do you mean the
Uh,
bye week beat him
uh,
21-6?
Alex Padilla won in the simulation game on Twitter.
That's true.
insane.
Spencer Peters versus Alex Padilla. Padilla won.
Someone needs to show that to the O'Brien.
Yeah.
Alex Padilla needs to hit that transfer portal hard.
Yeah,
Dude,
seriously.
I
Well,
would
he's
hit the
nothing
transfer
special
portal.
either.
I would have hit the transfer portal after Brian Ferentz said, "What's the upside?"
Yeah.
You kidding
I
me?
would too.
Yeah, that was brutal for sure. Anyway, with all that, we'll kind of close things out here unless anyone else has any last notes to say. Redmond, thank you very much for joining us though this week. We really appreciate it. Love the energy.
I appreciate it, guys. If you guys need NFL advice, just take the Jets every week. Jets all the way. They'll
Jets are
be
so good.
oh,
That's
dude.
against the Broncos for
Dude,
sure.
New
Oh.
York. Oh my gosh.
New York
Dude.
Giants, take them. I took them this week.
Dude,
Giants. Dude, I took
Oh.
Giants money line this week and I got a nice little payout.
So did I. Hadley. I took a Giants money line, Falcons
Dude, see what
spread,
happens
and
when we
Rams
Danny
bet
spread
Dimes.
parlay
Oh
this week.
man, Danny Dimes, man.
Dude, Giants are my favorite team to watch in the NFL right now.
Nah,
Saquon.
turn on the Jets, dude. Watch that Cougar Hunter just sling it to his boys. Okay,
Dude, he
That's-
beat up on Aaron Rodgers this week.
Dude, he
Dude.
did.
dude. Aaron Rodgers needs to do more drugs if he thinks he could compete with the fucking Jets, man. The Jets are the new powerhouse in the AFC. Can't be stopped, won't be stopped.
Well, shout out to the J&B Blitz show. If you want to cover any team, it should be the Jets. But with that being said, thank you, Redmond, for joining us this week. We really appreciate it. We know it was kind of last minute to get you on. We're glad you were able to join us, and I hope you did good on your picks this week. We'll let you know how they go.
I just gotta beat Devin. That's all I gotta do. So
Well, past couple weeks, I think our special guests have. So you're on a good trend there.
it's on a high standard I gotta beat, and it's on a high enough
Oh
bar.
god.
Yeah.
As long as you don't put $500 on the Lakers, you're good.
Hey, give me 12 twee lights and we'll see, dude. So
Well, thanks again, Redmond. We really appreciate all our listeners and viewers here. We're getting a lot of recognition here on YouTube. We appreciate all the support you guys have been giving us. We cannot thank you more for all of that. If you're not already, make sure you're following us on all of our social medias. I know Max is doing a very good job on Twitter, getting stats out there, commenting on games. If you're not, at least follow us on Twitter. Instagram, we haven't really done much with it. It's kind of hard. But Twitter, very good outlet for us. So make sure you check that out. I hope all of you Husker fans have a very good, relaxing weekend. No Husker football. Go relax. Go do something fun if you're not watching college football. And as always, make sure you guys have a safe weekend and just have a good weekend, guys. So, as always, go Big Red, baby.
Go Hawks.
Good outro. Good outro, my normal sized penis friend.